the beginning, since the sky opened and people were created, there have been struggles among all humans. The history of humanity is one of struggle for survival. There have been many wars, and people have devised many methods to win battles. The methods have evolved in numerous ways, according to the cultural traditions and historical backgrounds of each nation. Among these is a unique martial art with a technique and spiritual grounding very different from anything in the Western tradition. It is Korea's own martial art. Koreans have their very own martial art. We call it Taekwondo.
It's most beautiful.
It's a wonderful gift for any parent to give their child.
It's a great sport.
The best for me.
Very popular.
Taekwondo is the national sport of Korea. It is a highly popular sport and a very rigorous martial art. Where did it come from? The ancient Chinese referred to the Koreans, who were courageous and good at horsemanship, as the great bowmen of the East. The Koreans were a dominant force competing against the Chinese for control of ancient East Asia. Ancient Chinese described the Koreans as follows. Koreans are strong, courageous, and merciful. Koreans carry 10-meter-long spears, so several people have to lift them together. They make magnificent infantry. The bow was about 1.3 meters long and very powerful. The bowmen are very skilled so that they can hit an enemy warrior in the eye from a long distance. When the ancient Joseon kingdom fell, Koreans moved to Manchuria and then to the Korean peninsula from Central Asia. When Goguryeo was strong, Xi'an was the place where the capital was located. Goguryeo built the strongest nation in Northeast Asia at that time. The people of Goguryeo left their spirit and cultural heritage in these ancient tombs. Their martial traditions can be found in many wall paintings inside these old tombs. The paintings of bare fist fighting is the first evidence pointing to the origin of today's Taekwondo. Goguryeo had a unique warrior system called sambe, in addition to the regular army. The people of Goguryeo held a national competition for swordplay, archery, hunting, and haekyeon in March and October every year. Those who won the contests were recruited for sambe. Goguryeo grew to become the dominant force in Northeast Asia, winning against Shu and Tang of China. Shilla kingdom accomplished the great task of uniting the three kingdoms on the Korean peninsula. The way of Hwarang, the youthful warrior group, made it possible. According to the record of military arts published in the Chosun period, the art of native swordmanship originated from Hwang Chang, a Shilla Hwarang. Thus, the tradition of Hwarang's military arts is believed to have been passed down through native swordmanship. The people of Shilla adapted Buddhism as their basic ideology. The patriotic nature of Shilla Buddhism was the result of union between the tradition of military arts and Buddhism. As one might expect, the military arts of the warrior using bare hands were often depicted in Buddhist artistry. The most famous example is the grand Inwang image at the entrance of Sokuram Grotto. The pose of the Inwang image, which shows the symbolic posture of Shilla's bare-handed fighting, is represented in today's Kumgang posture. The martial arts of Koguryo, Paekje, and Shilla greatly affected neighboring countries. Paekje's Saurabi became the origin of Japanese samurai, and Koguryo's Sirim became Japanese sumo. The record of bare-handed fighting is first found in the history of Koryo, under the name of Subak. Obyong Subaku was a group competition that could be used in actual combat situations, and people could gain a chance to climb up the social ladder through it. However, Subak, which mainly used hands, was practiced primarily by the ruling class, whereas common people enjoyed Taekwondo. To those commoners who could not possess any arms, Taekwondo, which used powerful kicks, was more practical and effective than using just bare hands. Koryo warrior Lee Seung-gae founded the Chosun dynasty, so the tradition of Koryo's martial arts passed down to Chosun times. Subak was considered important, so skill in it was a deciding factor in selecting soldiers. The government often selected those who were proficient at Subak. The common record of martial arts written during King Cheongjo's reign used 225 Korean, Chinese, and Japanese books as references to summarize and develop the martial arts of the East one step further. The common record of martial arts lists 24 kinds of martial arts that include spearmanship, swordmanship, martial arts using bare hands, and martial arts on horseback. Korea, China, and Japan all exchange characteristics of their own martial arts with each other. According to Wu Biqi, Ming's book on martial arts, there is a record that the swordmanship which was not passed down in China was sought in Chosun and was called the Chosun swordmanship. Yedo, the swordmanship found in the common record of martial arts, is the Chosun swordmanship which was recorded in Wu Biqi. Chosun created improved martial arts combining the best characteristics from China's martial arts and Korea's. However, the martial arts recorded in the Common Record of Martial Arts differ from today's Taekwondo in that they mainly used hands. The tradition of Taekwondo has been passed down through Subak, which mainly uses hands, and Taekyon, which mainly uses feet. The Haedong Jukji Chronicle, which was published in 1920, describes Taekyon as follows. In the old custom called kaksur, people kick and try to knock each other down. Those who are not good at Taekyon kick the opponent's legs. Those who are good at Taekyon kick the opponent's shoulder. And those who have superb skills kick the opponent's top knot. The splendid footwork of Taekwondo, its effective and practical nature, and its characteristic as a sport that the audience can enjoy, all originate from the fact that Taekwondo is the traditional martial art of this nation. When Chosun was occupied by Japan, Korea's martial arts faced a dark age. Japan forced Korea to venerate its Shinto temples and took away Korea's language to erase Korean spirit. It oppressed those who were training in traditional martial arts and imposed Japanese martial arts such as Kendo and Judo. Traditional martial arts entered a new era when the nation was liberated in 1945. Under the Japanese occupation, Korea's traditional martial arts were in danger of losing their traditions. Since karate was forced on them, some training methods from karate were introduced. That is why the bare-handed fighting was called tangsu or kongsu, which is the Korean way of saying karate. Training was introduced that dealt mainly with hands rather than feet. However, the effort to restore the traditional martial arts continued. Song Deok-gi and Shin Han-sung, who had maintained the tradition of Taekyon, did their part to restore the traditional martial arts. Through this process, the foundation of modern Taekwondo was prepared.